desperate for everyone's reaction, but Liz, you know, I thought of you because we've spoken on your show a lot about MGM Entertainment. They make you guys the Bratz dolls and the LOL surprise dolls, and they said about 40% of their manufacturing is in China, and they want to get that down to like 15 to 10% or so, right? Like shifting it to India, Vietnam. Is this the beginning? Was this, it's volatile, but was this the plan? Start to get people to manufacture elsewhere?
Well, I think on behalf of the president, it definitely is. President Trump has made it very, very clear he wants U.S. companies, and you guys have heard this over and over again, he wants them to manufacture here. Now, we are a populous-rich nation, right? And therefore, we take better care of our workers. They have health care. It costs more to employ them. And Trump is basically saying, whatever you guys need to do to get manufacturing back here, you have to do it. Maybe that comes down to CEO compensation. I know that seems like a little bit of apostasy here. Nobody wants to talk about that. But the CEO to average worker ratio, 290 to 1. So sorry, CEOs, you may have to try and figure out about, you know, closing that gap to pay workers to come back here. But Isaac Larian is that man of MGA Entertainment who already had the Little Tykes area, right? He's got that in Hudson, Ohio. It's a manufacturing plant, and now he's going to move a lot of it there, and he's trying to move it back here.
Caroline, what do you think? I mean, we've talked about how the markets have been volatile, but I think a lot of us have been impressed by the president who has said, I'm less focused on the equity market. Equities go up and down. I'm trying to think about this the way China does, in centuries, not in 18-month political cycles. What do you think about this?
Right, and that a U.S. toy maker, a major one, is expanding domestic factories does prove Trump's point that if we can shift our supply chains here, get manufacturing here, we're going to be in a better long-run position to not be so dependent on other countries. Granted, toys are a little different than maybe steel or other very essential industries. But, you know, my old colleague at National Review, Kevin Hassett, said if we can tolerate some short-term pain for some long-term gain, we'll probably get a boom in the second quarter. And a lot of this sluggishness we're seeing is maybe a hangover from Biden more than anything. That being said, I'm Gen Z and I'm getting involved in personal finance now, and so are my peers. We're sensitive to market volatility. This is not just about owning the globalists, okay? Because 62% of Americans own stocks. So you can't argue that this is only for the elite on Wall Street to care about. There is a consumer sentiment problem.
That is a good point, Jackie, and one that we haven't discussed on this program, that there is not just the global elites, but there's been this democratization where we're all involved. But again, how do we think about this for the long term instead of this 3-month quarterly cycle that we're on?
I think the Gen Zers are going to start to learn what us older ladies on Wall Street know, which is that you go in cycles and you move around and there is sometimes volatility. But ultimately, in the long term, if you invest in stocks, it will pay off for you. I want to make this other point that I think is interesting in the conversation. You said 62% of Americans own stocks. Well, 64% of Americans, according to a recent poll from McLaughlin and Associates that was done last month, say that they want to see the extension of the Trump tax cuts. And so that brings me to a New York Post piece from the editorial board that was talking about Trump and slowing down this tariff tit for tat to focus on his tax cuts and the rest of his agenda. They actually wrote, give the rest of your economic agenda a chance to start kicking in first, sir. And I agree with them. I've been saying that. I want to see the energy stuff that Chris Wright was talking about. I want to see the cut in regulations. I want to see the extension of those tax cuts and some of the cuts or other tax policy, rather, that he promised the American people before this tariff tit for tat. Having said that, you don't always get what you want. But sometimes you get what you need. Rolling Stones.
Little let it bleed going on there.
And
Love it.
You've got to trust the process. So ultimately, I think once we ride this out and some of those other things come to fruition, he chose to go with tariffs first. But if we trust the process and you see the overall economic agenda, you're going to see, Caroline, that this market will rebound a little bit.
And it's a reversal, Brian, from Trump 1.0 when we did tax cuts first and then tariffs later. And this time we're going tariffs first and tax cuts later. Desperate for your thoughts on that, but also sort of a comment I made last hour, and Jackie nicely applauded me for this. If I promised you 20 years from now, you could have a TV from China that was 10 times cheaper, but it meant moving out of the Midwest because your daughter and grandchildren would no longer have jobs, would you take that bet? And I think 90% of Americans would say, I'm not willing to take that bet. I don't need a cheap trinket from China at the sake of my children's future. But again, we're sensitive to price increases right now, given we've just had a 20% price increase. And so we're sensitive about it.
Well, I lost track of what the bet was I was making there, but I'll take the other side of it, whatever it was. Okay. Couple things. Our president is a street fighting man. Okay. He likes the battle.
I see what you did there.
He likes the battle over tariffs. All right. Number one, he likes that. But what's happening? You got all these big companies who are making announcements about new plants, new investments in America. I got a list of them right here. They're from all over the place. You got companies from Sweden, Essity. You got companies from Italy, Campari. You've got companies from Germany, Volkswagen. So you've got that happening at the big macro level, right? But you know the same thing is happening at the more micro level. Small businesses and medium-sized businesses right now, there's one thing businesses are good at. They're good at adapting.
Yes.
So they're all out there right now. Now, you may say they shouldn't have to make this adaptation. I'm just telling you that they are making it, and they're going to be good at it, and it's going to work. And the net result of this is, as time goes by, we are going to make peace with what Trump is doing. And in fact, it's actually going to start to have a huge net benefit for the American economy. And so I'm looking at the stock market gyrating right now. We don't have 100 years, okay? You can talk about 100-year timelines, and people will say, well, I'm not going to be alive in 100 years, and that's fair. But the bigger point that Trump is making is you set up an economy to do a thing, okay? And what he's saying is we want this to be the best place in the world to invest, and there's a stick involved. But to your point, Jackie, there's huge carrots. And the one we haven't talked about enough, but Larry Kudlow brought up this week, is he wants to make expensing on factories.
Yes,
100%, not just plant and equipment, but factories, okay? That's revolutionary. And when it works in concert with what he's doing, the net result is more strength in America.
Okay, but if you talk to Isaac Larian, of course, MGA Entertainment, they are privately held, largest toy company. This is a guy who came to the United States from Iran with nothing. He came with nothing. He was washing dishes at a restaurant in Los Angeles. He worked his way up to manager of the hotel and the restaurant. And then he started selling electronics out of his car. He started selling toys. Now look at him, fast forward, and he is an incredible businessman. However, it's fine. President Trump, you said he wants to set up the economy. Well, he's done the set, but what about the up? Each day it's changing. And here is what Isaac Larian told me just a couple of weeks ago when I asked him about these tariffs.
I am publicly begging for him to please exempt toys. There is no way to get out of China, to be very frank with you, to make low-priced toys. And we do not want the American workers working and making low-priced toys. Let them focus on high-tech and other things.
So you know what this means. Everybody's going to be asking for exemptions. And back during the 2018 tariffs, something like 56,000 companies in the U.S. applied for exemptions. I believe 9,000 or so got them.
It's like 13%.
Yeah, about 9,000. And then you get to talking about crony capitalism.
Right.
Who gets it?
Right.
Did they donate? Did they do? I mean, this is a problem. So I get it.
You make a good point, and I do think the thing that tariffs need is more transparency. But put out there what the rates are, what you're trying to match. I don't like the backdoor dealing thing. I'm with you on that. There's not been a lot of transparency with the process so far. But, it's going to be interesting. Like on cheap toys, there's a lot of Americans out there who might say, like,
I don't need it.
I'm okay without a lot of cheap toys.
Yeah, but will their kids?
Yeah.
Will their kids say that?
Kids won't say that.
Figure it out. Art class.
I like the argument that he was making there, which is, and I hear you guys on who picks, who's going to get the exemption, but get the American worker focusing on bigger, more important parts of our economy, cars, or whatever else there is. I mean, I kind of agree with him that low-priced toys is kind of a waste of time.
President Trump has said he won't grant extensions, but we shall see about that.
Right.